I was not feeling satiated. It's like I wasn't eating anything. I was starving all the time. I was stuffing my face, but I was starving. And that's something you'll see in the ex-vegans. It's like that food is just not sustainable. I'll agree that you can go on a vegan diet and you can cure some ailments, if you're dealing with something. But for me, I wasn't dealing with anything before I was vegan. I wasn't dealing with any medical issues or anything like that. Every issue that I had came after going vegan, talking about getting a bunch of injuries,
Whoa, whoa,
talking
whoa,
about
whoa,
having
whoa,
skin
whoa, whoa,
issues,
whoa. Hold on, hold on,
skin,
hold on, hold on,
nail
hold on.
issues. Like,
Joshua,
it can get
for real,
pretty,
for
pretty.
real. Come on, come on. Are you sure you want to stand by that statement? Your health didn't start declining until you went vegan. Then how come your bio says this? You're disrespectful. I'm just here to talk about things objectively and, call people out whenever they don't make sense or whenever I see that they might have an alternative motive and whenever it's harming animals in the movement. So that's what I'm doing here. And let me just say, Joshua, I really enjoy your personality and your vibes and just yeah, yeah. I mean, we could probably be friends, but I would have some strong disagreements, and I would call you out on a lot of stuff. Okay, so I'm just gonna run through a couple things that Joshua usually says and does that I think should be talked about. So first of all, uh, Joshua says that anybody who's a vegan will eventually go back to veganism, and that we're starving and that they were starving. And, I'd like to source the World Health Organization and the British Dietetic Association and just all of those organizations that literally, and I'm sure that Joshua knows this, but this leads to my point, literally say that veganism is adequate. 100% plant-based diet is adequate for all stages of life. Okay, so the science is not on their side there. And so my point is, Joshua and many ex-vegans always lean on testimonials and their own experience. And let me tell you something about my own experience. I was an ex-vegan once. So that's how I know y'all are full of shit. Because I'm a vegan now. And I was full of shit. Okay? So, and that's going to be another video. But anyway, so no disrespect. Going on to the next point. Let me just summarize that point. I feel as though many of those ex-vegans, it's placebo, or they have some other some other motive, and they just don't want to be vegan anymore, and they don't want to get that backlash. And look, I'll agree with them. There's way too much hate and shaming inside the vegan community, but that doesn't justify such things, and such things that they do, such as going ex-vegan. But this leads into my next point: the hate and shaming in the vegan community. So ex-vegans love to focus on that. And do you know why? Why they don't like focusing on people that are just wanting to have a good conversation, that don't mean any disrespect, they just want to actually dive deep, um, is because whenever they focus on the hate and shaming, they become a victim. And whenever they become a victim, then the focus is left off the animals and the actual reality of the situation. And oh, look, it's those crazy, hateful vegans that are probably nutrient deficient, and that's why they're so angry all the time. uh, mm. So yeah, I'm not gonna hate or shame, but I will call you out on that. And I did actually comment on one of your videos asking if we could have a discussion about this. Preferably on a live stream, but I mean, could just talk about it. I don't even have to put it on my YouTube channel. And every single time I ask an ex-vegan this, the only ex-vegan that's ever responded to me, which very briefly responded to me and then went away, was Jacko Wacko. But every single ex-vegan, they never want to actually talk about it. They always want their own story to be put out there in a way to where it makes the vegans look hateful and shaming, rather than mention, oh, well, some vegans actually were willing to talk about it and they had these points and this is what their points were. But nope, they never addressed those points, it seems. So yeah, I wonder why that is. Probably because they don't have a justification. So moving on to my next point. Here's a video, some footage of Joshua eating ribs, and it looks like macaroni and cheese, some type of dairy. And my next point basically is that, you know, if they really, really actually cared about the animals, or, you know, the whole sentiment, even if they had to eat animals to survive, then they wouldn't be doing this, because this is at a restaurant where it's very likely came from factory farmed animals that are suffering. And it's, no one needs to eat ribs to survive, or macaroni and cheese, two of the most cruel things to eat. And so it seems as though it's either social, because there's somebody else there with them and they want to have a bonding experience over food. Food is very powerful socially. Or it's just the selfishness of wanting to experience that meal again. And I don't think Joshua wants to admit that. But speaking of being hateful, and, you know, Joshua said that vegans are hateful to them, and that they were never hateful until they went vegan. But having such a video where they're eating ribs and macaroni and cheese, and knowing that a large portion of their audience was vegan, this is a pretty hateful thing to do, if you ask me. I feel like they were defensive and probably angry, so they put this out there to rub it in vegans' faces. There's no other reason to put this out there. Whoa. There's no other reason to put this out there. All right, sorry, my camera messed up. So that's all my points there. And Joshua, if you would like to have an actual respectable conversation, doesn't even have to be a debate. Even over text or email or whatever, like, we should totally do it. I'm just trying to understand the other perspective. And look, I have a lot to say about my experience, and I'll just say this. If you are a vegan and you are experiencing brain fog or fatigue, anything that is bad for your health, I'm not going to say that being an ex-vegan is immoral if you've tried everything. That's just the thing. And the other thing is, I think you should come out and tell people as soon as that starts to happen, if you have a brand or a channel all about veganism. You should start, like, as soon as you get the symptoms, you should start working on it and share it with the people, rather than just overnight, oh, I'm ex-vegan now. Because why I'm saying this, if you can do that, and look, I'm not going to judge if you don't do that, but if you can do that, it's a lot more transparent, and it will build your case much more if you, for whatever reason, have to go ex-vegan after trying, everything. And why should you try everything? Because it is still the more moral choice. And just forget morals. It's just the sensible thing to do as far as the environment and for the animals and for compassion. If you're going to be compassionate, or, for compassion for the humans too, if you care about such things. So, yeah, just saying, if you're starting to feel symptoms and you're a vegan and you have a following, you should talk about it and you should share your experience. You should be able to be like, look, I have brain fog. I'm fatigued. And yeah, so there's a lot more to talk about here. There's a lot that Joshua rambles on about, kind of like I am right now. But Joshua doesn't have any evidence or anything besides their own word. And also, a lot of what they say doesn't match up, kind of like what I showed at the beginning of this video. And it's just, I don't know. They say good, they're about the good vibes and everything, and no disrespect, but they seem to be angry and shaming to vegans, and that's not cool. Okay, vegans are standing up for the right thing, whatever that is. Anyway, let's save the freaking planet, people. Woo! Yeah.